Madison, who has won 5 in a row here at San Marcos, Texas, to take on a Texas State team still searching for their first conference win of the season. It's a Sun Belt showdown to kick off Week 10 of the college football season as we welcome you. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. 2 drives in under 2 minutes to start this game. The wind is clearly a factor.
Big time here tonight, and I think it was a big factor on that drive for JMU. You know, I think I would have liked to see them hand the ball off and try to run it a little more right there, getting the ball on the 43-yard line. They put 2 in the air, incomplete, and had to punt.
Texas State's opening drive, a tipped ball resulted in an interception. James Madison takes over at the Texas State 43-yard line. They don't gain a single yard in 3 plays. They passed on all 3 of them and came up empty.
I think in that much maligned Texas State defense, that's a critical stop they got right there. Can get some momentum off of it.
Jackson in trouble. Just trying to take it for positive yardage. Got back to the line of scrimmage there. Xavier Holmes swallowed him up. He'll let you know it.
I'll tell you what, Brad Jackson was scanning that field. There was not a wide receiver open by a long shot. Good coverage.
Play action. Jackson in trouble again. Flush to his right. No option. It may be a little skittish to throw the ball with the 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
You know, because right now Brad Jackson is throwing into that wind, and we've already seen it affect, in my opinion, both sides here. So they're trying to figure this game out a little bit, and he's worried about that rush, and rightfully so, and the wind. So many factors are coming in this game early.
Well, when you were playing in a wind game and you played on defense, you know, who does it favor? It has to be the defense based off this sample.
Especially when it's gusting like it is in this stadium, because it's not like it's a consistent wind. It's nothing, and then boom, all of a sudden it gusts up, and it plays a lot of havoc on that offense.
Nunez kicking into the wind. Wayne Knight calls for the fair catch right at the 50. So James Madison, excellent starting field position on the road on a Tuesday night, looking for their 6th straight win. There's their head coach, Bob Chesney, who's won everywhere he's been. Started at Salve Regina in 2010 in Division III, and here he is in year 2 at JMU.
The guy wins wherever he goes. It's been very impressive. But I think for the Dukes right here, you got the #1 rush offense in the Sun Belt Conference, right? 244 rush yards per game. I'm going to try to pound away at this defense a little bit with that run.
They threw on the opening 3 plays of their previous drive. Barnett, quarterback keeper. He's tough to bring down at 220 pounds, gain of 2.
In this Texas State defense, Jay, they live on havoc plays and chaos. They average 7 tackles for loss and 2.5 sacks per game. They're kind of a feast or famine group. It'll be tackle for loss, negative play, and then they give up a big play. So they got to find a way to keep their aggression, because that's their identity, who they are, but not give up big plays tonight.
Knight the carry, nothing going up the middle. Completely stuffed, no gain. That Texas State defense has been stingy.
Well, and they're running into a guy they might want to try to avoid. Traylon Payne had 24 tackles in the game last week. That was good enough for Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week. I don't know if I ever had 24 in a game, Jay. That's flat getting it done, man. I'm jealous. He's a good player.
Maybe at St. X High School in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's about the last time, yes.
Empty set for Barnett on a 3rd and 8. Might be forced into a pass here. Barnett throws right on the money. James Madison, first down. Nick DeGennaro, who had a huge breakout game a week ago with over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, a monster gain of 19 to move the chains.
And it starts with great protection. Look, he had just the ability to kind of scan the field from left to right, finds DeGennaro wide open on a little hitch route, puts the ball on the money. And you know, Coach Chesney talked to us yesterday here about the importance of starting fast. We want to break their spirits. This drive going on much better here.
Ryan Nolan the junior safety from Gainesville, Florida, stayed down after the play for Texas State. The third down conversion, 35 miles per hour here at San Marcos. At 4 rushing touchdowns last time out against Old Dominion when the JMU offense hung 63 on him. Barnett off his back foot. Inside the 10, pushing that pile inside the 5. Braden Wisłowski, big time yards after the catch, gain of 26.
And JMU does this better than most teams in college football, the screen game. And what do you do when you have an aggressive defense that likes to fly, like to get upfield, like to get up to the passer? You dump the screen over top of them. You use their energy and their aggression against them. And that's a great call right there. In that situation, like I said, JMU's screen game is legit.
And now they're knocking on the door. A 1st and goal inside the 5. Knight powers forward. And they haven't had much success going up the gut. Texas State defending the middle real well in the trenches.
Wayne Knight, what a player. Number 6 in the country in all-purpose yards. Rushing, receiving, punt returns. 5'7", 190 pounds. I compared him last week to Darren Sproles, just in his explosiveness.
Darren Sproles, not exactly known as a goal line guy, so in comes Jordan Fuller. He's more of the bowling ball out of the backfield. Whistles pre-snap. False start against the Dukes.
False start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
And in an odd way, this opens up the playbook a little bit. Obviously, you want to be 5 yards closer to the end zone, but Alonzo Barnett more willing to run the ball himself, I feel like, when they're not right on the goal line.
Yeah, you're on that 1-yard line. It all gets real packed in there. You're right, maybe a little more breathing room for Alonzo Barnett in this situation.
Sandwich in the backfield.
DeGennaro up top, taller receiver.
Head-away in motion, Barnett slings it to the end zone. It's caught, touchdown, DeGennaro. And James Madison opens the scoring.
Yeah, and that was the matchup that they won. DeGennaro goes about 6'2", so down here, it's always a good idea to throw to your receivers that got some height, can jump and get up, and just a good job here. You know, Jaden Rios in man coverage, but a good job by DeGennaro playing that ball for a touchdown.
And what a response by the James Madison offense, who felt like they missed an opportunity on their opening drive, going 3 and out from the 43-yard line. This time, they cash in. James Madison on the road, trying to make it 6 straight wins. Alonzo Barnett on the money. He's got the Dukes up 7. 2nd and 7. Jackson throws, pass is caught for a Bobcats first down. Needed 7, got 7 to the tight end, Titus Lyons.
And really would like to see, on the other hand, too, Texas State start getting Bo Sparks and Chris Don involved in this game here at some point.
They run it into a white wall right now. Manuel Bush lost his helmet. Big number 0, 350 pounds. His counterpart in the trenches, Terry Lockett, had the tackle. There's Bush running off.
It always, I've told you many times during our broadcast, Jay, that's a linebacker's dream right there. Having a guy who's 6'1", 350 in front of you, just eating blocks up.
Second and 9. They keep it on the ground. Flag thrown for a face mask. Lincoln Perry ran through it, but McMullen got a
personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Fistful of mask, and it was McMullen subbing in for Bush, who had to run off because he lost his helmet on the previous play, who commits the infraction.
Yeah, he just kind of reaches out there and trying to make a play around the shoulders. Instead, it gets up around the face mask. Came on. Either way, big penalty.
That could perhaps ignite his Texas State offense after the penalty into JMU territory.
Yeah, maybe take a shot here. Open one up.
Yeah, they keep it on the ground. I don't want to keep repeating ourselves, but the wind definitely a factor. Up to 35 miles per hour. Maybe you don't want to take a shot going into the wind. You go with the conservative run, but only a gain of 1. Play action. Jackson dialing up a shot, and a miscommunication there. Not on the same page with his wide receiver, Chris Don Jr.
And Chris Don, he is more the vertical guy. Bo Sparks is the in space, juke around, find the open stuff underneath. Chris Don is the guy. He's a 10, 400-meter guy. He's the one that stretches the field.
Interesting enough, Sparks has not even been targeted tonight. He's at the bottom of your screen, number 11 in black. Elijah Culp has had his number most of the night. There he is, first catch of the night, but it's defended well. Only a gain of 3, and that brings up 4th down. What do you do here?
Well, I think, first of all, it's a good idea just to finally get Sparks involved in this game. I would punt this football right now and pin them back. Your defense playing decent, but looks like they're going to see this as an opportunity to go here. I think the factor of the going into the wind would be the biggest reason I'd punt, but here they go.
4th and a long 6. Empty set for Jackson. Play clock down to 3. JMU sends forward. Jackson throws a quick hitter, but well short of the sticks. Mavin Anderson bottled up by Trent Hendrick, and that is a turnover on downs.
Yeah, 4th and 6 in that area of the field. You're throwing into the wind. I would have punted that football, as I stated. I think that was a little desperation on the part of Texas State going for it right there.
So once again, James Madison, they'll have their 3rd straight drive with favorable field position. Up 7.
Issue with Texas State's defense, just too many busts. I mean, Wayne Knight is wide open. I mean, Barnett couldn't get the ball out of his hand fast enough. He saw how wide open he was. You see the speed Wayne Knight has. Again, why he's number 6 in the country all-purpose yards. He can run.
Up over 1,000 all-purpose yards on the season. Set up the Dukes for a 1st and goal. Here's Jordan Fuller, untouched, into the end zone. Touchdown, James Madison. Quick strike offense in just 2 plays. JMU goes 65 yards for the score.
And Jay, the minimum you have to have on defense, you got to have an edge. You got to form an edge on defense. and Fuller goes off to the left side there. There's no end, there's no linebacker caving down. It's the easiest touchdown he's ever scored.
This has been the Achilles heel. A mid-air jump pass to Marvin Anderson.
Back up at the top.
Jackson looking that way after an interception.
Yeah, if I'm Brad Jackson, I'm finding Bo Sparks. There is a slot at the top.
Jackson looking that way, in trouble. Nobody open. Trying to pick it up with his feet. He slid right at the line to gain. And that is a first down. Wow. Texas State. Good spot for the home team. And the Bobcats move the chains. Big pickup.
They're back up on the line, going to run another one here.
Jackson thought he was going to keep it. Instead, a mid-air jump pass to Marvin Anderson. Touchdown, Texas State. I don't know if Jackson knew he was going to throw that ball when he left his feet, and it's a touchdown.
It was clearly it. JMU's defense thought this was a run all the way. They're going to get up the line, and Brad Jackson's going to run it. And he does a great job selling the block, and as soon as the corner comes up to try to tackle the run, plops it over his head for a touchdown, and Texas State back in this game.
The home team Bobcats looked left for dead. JMU up 2 touchdowns. The Dukes get the ball back. They go for a trick play on first down. It results in an interception. Texas State takes over, converts the 3rd down, and then Jackson finds Anderson, and just like that, the lead cut in half. To the touchdown.
Yeah, and JMU's defense is saying the only thing this offense has done to hurt us is Brad Jackson run. He's run 7 times on the night, and right before that touchdown, he had a 7-yard run. So I think the corner says, heck with this. I ain't going to put up with this anymore. He comes flying up to take away that run to the edge, and Jackson just plops it right over his head for the touchdown.
You played 8 years in the NFL on defense. I can't imagine anything more frustrating than a quarterback running all over you.
It's the worst. I think JMU at some point might have to spy him to take away that run.
And here's another mobile quarterback, Alonzo Barnett. We told you we've got 2 dual-threat quarterbacks tonight, and both have showed their running ability. Barnett takes that for 15.
Yeah, we already mentioned he had the 4 rushing touchdowns last week, but you see the speed, the explosion is back for Barnett, and a good idea on first down there to run. Remember, they are going into the wind right now here as they start this 2nd quarter.
And when you have a quarterback that starts running on you, it opens up the pass. We saw that on the previous possession by Jackson. Barnett so good using that as a weapon as well. Wayne Knight only a gain of 2 there.
I still like, for JMU, still like that screen game against this aggressive defense that likes to fly, they like to get upfield, like to come downhill.
Barnett surveys, in trouble. Down he goes. Texas State, a big-time sack Kennard Snyder, the transfer from Iowa State, delivers. JMU went hurry up. And a timeout taken before the 3rd and long snap.
Timeout. Texas State, their first.
G.J. Kinney didn't like his defense ahead of a 3rd and 11. We'll step aside. So a hectic sequence here, all set up by a 2nd down sack, Rocky.
Yeah, it was, and there's the culprit right there. But it's everybody. This defense is just flying, coming, getting to the quarterback, nowhere for him to go with the ball. And then they had too many guys on the field. Did Texas State had to call a timeout.
Well, after a 2nd down sack, which sets up a 3rd and long, you very rarely see an offense go hurry up, and that's what JMU did. Texas State had some confusion in the sub game, and G.J. Kinney had to burn the timeout.
That's the guy they got to watch right there. Khalil Alexander must block him.
Ears pinned back on a 3rd and 11. Barnett gets it out to Wayne Knight, and he might have just picked up the 1st down. Needed 11. When did he get shoved out of bounds? Atwood was in coverage for Texas State, and they give him 11. 1st down JMU. Big pickup on 3rd down.
And a good job of pickup there. They brought Khalil Alexander all the way from the right side, wrapped him all the way back around the left side, and just before he got to Barnett, Barnett found Knight for the pickup in the 1st down. That's a huge play for JMU.
And a backbreaker for Texas State. They were building momentum. Just scored a touchdown, about to get JMU off the field. Almost a fumble there. Barnett bounced it back to himself, got it into the belly of Fuller for a gain of 1. That could have been a disaster for the Dukes.
You don't like that. You kind of bobble the snap a little bit. You just grab that thing and tuck it and see what you can get. Instead, he tries to hand it off to Fuller.
Fuller, this time a big hole opens up for the Holy Cross transfer, and he drags defenders for another James Madison first down.
And that's the key with the run game here, because again, Texas State, they're stunting, they're slicing down in, they're twisting. You just got to be patient, and because sometimes, you know, you do all those line stunts, you hit it in the back for a tackle for loss, but sometimes you're out of a gap and it can crease one. That's what JMU wants to find.
All right, we're good.
4 targets to the bottom of your screen, 1 at the top. Motion the tight end, Pfeiffer to the line. Barnett, one-on-one coverage, darts it right in there. Another JMU first down, Landon Ellis. How good has he been this season?
He has been absolutely fantastic, and he was flat covered on this. This is just a great wide receiver making a play. A little bit of a, I guess you call it a back shoulder, but he caught it right in his stomach. But just a good job coming back to the ball. The defender's eyes were turned away from the quarterback. He couldn't see it, and Ellis came up with it.
1st and 10 in the red zone. They've really enjoyed Barnett in this empty set with 5 wide receivers. Again, busted coverage in the passing game. Sets up 1st and goal. Barnett went right back to Ellis.
It's too easy. You know, the quarterback, first and foremost, is taught, take what the defense gives you. If they're going to give away a slant route to a slot receiver, you just take it. Just take it. Now Texas State, you got to be aware of Barnett keeping the ball here in this area of the field.
9 rushing touchdowns on the season for the quarterback. This time he hands it off. Fuller trying to push that pile, churning those legs into the end zone. Touchdown, James Madison. How about the extra effort from Jordan Fuller? Bulldozing his way in for the score.
Well, it's Jordan Fuller and about every other white jersey out there pushing and pulling and get him all the way in the end zone.
A very late flag was thrown. Well after the touchdown signal.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 15. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The score is good.
That's Terry Russell, the transfer from Mississippi State. Just a frustration foul after the touchdown.
You can see, look at his lineman pushing, getting low.
Great response from James Madison after Texas State gets on the board to cut it to 7. Their offense leaves no doubt. This was a scuffle after the score.
Yeah, right at the end, and it's right there by the official. And yeah, you just can't do that. But I think it's worth mentioning, Jay. We talked about how the wind affected Texas State. You know, they were going against the wind in that first quarter. The wind didn't look like it affected JMU on that drive, but they ran the ball, threw the ball, no problem at all.
Impressive drive. You're right, Rocky, going in to the win. 9 plays, 75 yards for the touchdown. The critical moment on that drive is Texas State gets the 2nd down sack. It's 3rd and 11, and JMU goes up tempo after the sack. You rarely see that, and it forces Texas State to burn a timeout, takes the defense out of their rhythm. The moment I always think of when a team goes up-tempo after a sack,
number 92 is in for number 3 for Texas
between
State.
Alabama and Georgia in overtime. Alabama gets sacked before Georgia could even get back to the line. Devonta Smith was in the end zone winning the national championship.
Well, you're right. You know, it looked like Texas State wanted to try to get some more pass rushers on the field. JMU caught them, and that was the difference.
Kicking off from the 50 after the personal foul. Easy touchback even going into the win. You can kick off your Week 9 NFL Sunday 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. They'll tell you everything you need to know, taking you right up to kickoff. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. James Madison, one of the hottest teams in all of college football. Perfect in Sun Belt play. A 5-game winning streak now on the road on a Tuesday night against a good Texas State team. A lot better than their record shows they are. A very talented offense that they've held in check so far. Brad Jackson right on cue, wrestled down in the backfield. That's Jacob Thomas. Arguably the best defender JMU has, and the senior safety delivers with another terrific takedown, loss of 5.
Well, I said last drive that, I mean, if you're JMU, you're saying the only thing that's really hurting us right now is the quarterback run. So they come out on first down, and they bring the house here, bring Jacob Thomas, and tackle the quarterback for a loss.
Jackson flushed right, throws on the run, busted coverage, big play, Texas State. Down the sideline, pushed out of bounds. Anderson, who's got the lone touchdown tonight for Texas State, a gain of 48.
But what created the ability for Anderson to get open, again, it's the running ability of Brad Jackson. He's scrambling to the side, he's fast. You gotta respect it, you gotta come up and cover, and that just creates an opening for Maven Anderson.
Anderson on the season only has 59 yards coming into tonight. He's already near that with a touchdown to boot. Going for it all, and that's a drop. Jackson had Chris Dawn in the end zone, and they couldn't quite connect. That should have been a Bobcats touchdown.
And that's the one the Bobcats wanted right there. They go up tempo, and Chris Dawn, we talked about his speed. He's got a step on Elijah Culp. He thought he had it. Oh. I'm JMU's defense. I'm putting a spy out there, something to stop the quarterback run.
Quick hitter to the flat, defended well by Elijah Culp. This will be 3rd and 10. Well, Anderson has been the go-to guy tonight for Brad Jackson. Usually it's Chris Dawn and Bo Sparks, but Anderson 65 yards on the night. He only had 59 on the season coming into this game.
There's Sparks in motion.
Jackson trusts his feet, trying to push that pile. This will be right at the line to gain. Gannon Weathersby was trying to drag Jackson back, and he did so successfully. Only got 8. 4th and 1.
Jay, you can tell that JMU this week at practice, they're saying, hey, man, we respect the passing ability of Texas State and Chris Dawn and Bo Sparks. We got to cover them up, and now they're finding out in this game that the quarterback run is very much a part of this game plan.
Texas State.
Timeout. Texas
Burns
State.
a timeout.
They're second.
Ahead of a 4th and 1. We'll take it as well. G.J. Kinney and the Bobcats offense trying to convert on a 4th and 1. Home team Texas State down, but certainly not out on a Tuesday night. College football primetime presented by Ram Trucks. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you midway through this second quarter. Critical fourth down here, Rocky. 4th and 1 for this Texas State offense.
Critical, and if I'm Texas State, I'm giving my quarterback Brad Jackson a two-way go. If he finds something he likes in the pass game, he can roll him out. If he doesn't like it, he can tuck it and run. Give him that option here.
Sandwiched in the backfield, Bo Sparks and Burrell. Hands it off. And he was stuffed, only needed a yard. Will forward progress be his friend? Yes, Burrell got just enough. Needed one, got one. Keeps the drive alive on a 4th down conversion.
I'm putting the ball in the hands of Jackson on that play, but nevertheless, they pick up the first down.
Quick snap here. Jackson rolls left, throws on the run, and that is dropped. Bo Sparks couldn't come up with that. He's been reliable all season long for the freshman Jackson.
Yeah, you know, wide open, and that's like the 4th miscue they've had in the pass game. Hit the tipped interception on the first drive. Chris Don has had 2 drops. There's a drop by Bo Sparks. Your best players, they got to come up with these. A game like this, you got JMU, best team in the Sun Belt. Here at your house, got to make those big plays.
And it takes the wind out of your sails after you get the 4th down conversion. You're trying to get into your tempo. Quick hitter here. Bubble screen. Dawn drilled immediately and dropped. Jacob Thomas again. He's been everywhere defensively for JMU.
Jacob Thomas, he's a former high school quarterback, so he knows the game. He has knowledge of just the scheme, not just what he does, but what everybody does. I think he's a guy that has a potential NFL future. Just, I mean, the athlete he is, but also just the overall understanding of ball that he has.
3rd and 7. Texas State in the red zone. Jackson steps up, looking to run. Down he goes. Couldn't escape that time. Aiden Gobira, the transfer from Notre Dame. Big time stop on 3rd down.
Good job of controlled rush. They get some of the pressure up the middle, and then you see the linebacker come right up inside, and then Gobira closes down on him. That's a great job of team defense.
On the previous play, we were telling you about Jacob Thomas. Who's come up slowly for JMU. His head coach Bob Chesney, joined by medical personnel to talk with Thomas. And we spoke at length with his defensive coordinator Colin Hitchler this week, and he said as great a leader as he's ever been around. Brings the guys around him and makes them better.
Yeah, he just has the ability to explain things to his teammates of where to be, and it explains the why, almost in the same way a coach does. You see him coming around the right side there. And that was Lincoln Perry cutting him down. Was inside the tackle box, so illegal hit. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Texas State, in the meantime, has sent out their field goal unit team for a 35-yard attempt. It's the redshirt sophomore Tyler Robles. Robles from 35. Got it. So the Bobcats clawing their way back into this game. 3 points closer. Again, you're going against the top team in the Sun Belt. You just said it a moment ago, Rocky. Yeah, it's got to be nearly perfect, and there's just been too many miscues in this first half for Texas State.
Yeah, this is on the first drive. The ball just bounces off the face mask, gets intercepted, and then you try to take your shot to Chris Dawn. It's an overthrow by Jackson, and that one was right on the money. And then there's Sparks, not able to haul one in. Again, just your room for error is just so much smaller when you're playing a team like JMU.
And you do come away with a field goal on that drive, but you're going against a JMU team that it feels like you just aren't going to beat with field goals. You need touchdowns.
I will say this, though. It's kind of like a little bit of a role reversal, though, because usually it's Texas State that's jumping up on top of teams, but they can't throw that knockout punch JMU right now can't seem to throw that knockout punch. Let's see if they can here. Or they continue to let Texas State hang around in this thing.
The story of the season for this Bobcats team, particularly in Sunbelt play, is they've had 3 fourth-quarter leads that they've failed to hang on to. Maybe now being the team chasing instead of being chased could fare well, particularly at home. James Madison an 11-point cushion, all 3 timeouts, 6 minutes left in this first half. And we've seen the version of James Madison's offense where they have been quick strike tonight, but very capable of long drives where they keep it on the ground, use some clock. Bob Chesney might dial that up on this possession. Barnett flips it to the speedster, Wayne Knight. And he turns a 2-yard gain into a 10-yard gain in a blink.
And that's what you want out of a playmaker. You know, it looks like, okay, we'll pick up a couple yards. Nope. A guy like Wayne Knight picks up a bunch.
He steps on that gas. You've compared him to Darren Sproles, who you played against in the NFL, and that's all I see when he touches the ball.
Yeah, it's the size. It's the fact that he can kind of hide behind those linemen when they bust out, but it's also the torque, that 0 to 60. Man, he gets up to top speed quick.
Talk about top speed. Here goes Alonzo Barnett, the quarterback inside the 20. He was in a foot race with Javis Minot. Took her for 51 yards. Couldn't quite take it to the house.
Yeah, this is a design quarterback run all the way. Picked up a great block from Wayne Knight coming up on the inside. There's no one else left on that back end. That's why he's so dangerous. And that just sticks in the head of a defense. A quarterback run, we got to stop that, and it makes you a little bit less aggressive, and then he sits back and picks you apart.
Right back into the red zone. Barnett throws. It's caught. Touchdown, James Madison. What a grab. Josh Pfeiffer. That's only Pfeiffer's 2nd catch on the season. Went up and got it for the Duke's touchdown.
And Pfeiffer is really more known as a great blocking tight end, but how about the athleticism? And Bob Chesney told us this week he thinks he's the best G5 tight end that there is right now, and he's shown why. A fantastic acrobatic catch coming back to that ball.
Here I am saying JMU's capable of a long, methodic drive. Well, they go 3 plays, 75 yards in just 1:15 to go back up by 18.
Well, and they did what I said they need to do is, is lay the hammer down. There's still a lot of football to be played here, but coming off a drive where Texas State, okay, they get a field goal, we're hanging around on this thing, and you just slam the door shut and put up a touchdown.
There's their head coach, Bob Chesney, never satisfied.
And he's been talking to that line judge the entire game. I would love to know exactly what the conversation is, but he's making a case, isn't he?
And that has been since the first snap of this game.
First snap of the game.
Well, the one thing you need to know about Bob Chesney is he's a winner.
Yeah.
He has won at every level. Division III at Salve Regina, Division II at Assumption, FCS play at Holy Cross, and now at the FBS level, an 126-51 career record. Very similar trajectory to his predecessor at JMU, Curt Cignetti.
It's very, very similar, especially for being the same program and turning around programs at every level. D3 all the way up to here.
Squib kick on the return, and Texas State just goes down with it right at the 25-yard line. You mentioned Curt Cignetti. Indiana up to number 2 as we show you the college football rankings top 10, right behind Ohio State in the Big Ten. Mike Elko getting things done. 8-0, Texas A&M. They go into Death Valley and win.
It's amazing, and it's the power of a great coach like Kurt Signetti. But I told you 2 years ago that Indiana would be
impossible.
A power. A literal power, and go to the playoff last year and now be the number 2 team in the country this year.
Even the James Madison fans who knew what they had in Signetti and saw the brilliance that he brought to James Madison would not have said, oh yeah, in less than 2 years he's going to get them to number 2 in the country. So the thing when you talk to Duke's fans, it's, look, they've built a program that has sustained many different head coaches. They just reload. It's not rebuild, it's reload. There's a structure in place.
Structure, a standard that's set in place. When you take a visit to JMU, you know what that program's all about.
Now, we joked with Bob Chesney, and he joked back. He goes, yeah, the reload thing's a little easier said than done when you're replacing a full roster, it feels like, year in and year out, but they continue to find ways. And there's Maven Anderson, who on the season before tonight only had 4 receptions, 59 yards. That's his 4th catch for 74 yards tonight alone in less than a half of football.
Blitz.
Jackson off his back foot just throws it away. Not many times tonight James Madison has dialed up pressure to allow Jackson to
for intentional grounding,
run out of trouble.
Receiver in the area.
That time they bring pressure, and the redshirt freshman just throws it away.
Yeah, I mean, either way, every play you got to try to find a way to affect the quarterback, whether that's dropping 8 into coverage and not having any windows for him to fit a ball in, or sometimes like that, you got to bring some pressure and force him to throw the ball away.
Play action. Jackson slings it, threads the needle. Inch perfect to Bo Sparks for a Texas State first down.
It's a good job by Jackson throwing that ball high. Jacob Thomas, the safety we've talked about, was right in that lane, but the ball was thrown high, perfectly thrown by Jackson.
Jackson trying to escape. No running room that time. Andrew Taddeo, 5th-year senior out of Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Loss of 1.
In the last couple of drives, JMU's done a better job of not having those inside vertical rush lanes. Having more of a controlled rush, getting some of those bigger bodies like Taddeo right there, pushing that pocket back into his face, not letting him just run free right up the middle.
And JMU's best unit, and there's a lot of good ones, might be their defensive line. They have quality depth in that room that has shown up in this first half. 2nd and 12. Jackson checks it down. That'll set up a 3rd and manageable. Lincoln Perry out of the backfield. Gain of 7. Third and 5 in what is likely 4-down territory.
I was going to say, if you're Texas State right here, I mean, you'd like to get it all, but you don't have to. You at least got to get some positive yards to pick up, give yourself a better chance on 4th down. But this is all go right here with 2:08 left.
Busted coverage, wide open. First down, Texas State. Kylan Evans takes us into the 2-minute timeout on a monster game.
2-minute timeout
to put Texas State in business in the final 2 minutes of this first half.
Yeah, it was a corner blitz, and as soon as he saw him open, Brad Jackson put the ball on the money. Texas State driving here toward the end of the first half.
Thanks, Zubin. We've had a fun one so far. Final 2 minutes of this first half. A pitch on 1st and 10 from the 12. And Bob Chesney, the James Madison head coach, quick to call one of his 3 timeouts remaining.
What a fantastic play by Aiden Gobert.
Timeout
on that play.
James Madison, their first 30-second timeout.
Played flat right down the line and took away the quarterback run, and still able to come back and tackle the pitch. That was an excellent play, especially for a guy who's 6'5", 255.
A massive moment in this game. Texas State has trailed throughout, but they've got the ball here in the red zone at home against the best team in the conference. You are desperate to find the end zone ahead of halftime. Give yourself a chance going into the second half.
Absolutely critical. You've got to have a touchdown here. You score here, you make it an 11-point ball game. You go into half feeling pretty good about it.
Well, Texas State, the offense has not been the problem on the season, particularly in the red zone. They are 89%. That needs to show up here going against one of the best defenses in all of college football. Jackson throws, tip ball. It's intercepted. There's a flag down, and there was a whistle. Everyone kind of looked confused as Jackson let it rip. I think the redshirt freshman quarterback thought he had a free play. And Barksdale's hoping that he's got an interception here, but this will likely come back for a flag pre-snap.
I just wonder if JMU had too many on the field, had 12.
You see Jackson, the quarterback, listening in to the officials there. A lengthy discussion at the 20-yard line.
Illegal substitute.
Bob Chesney's been on this officiating crew since kickoff.
Yeah, he has.
Illegal substitution. More than 11 players on the field at the snap. Defense. 5-yard penalty. It's second down. After the play was over, delay of game. Sideline interference. Defense.
Wow.
Half the distance to the goal. Results in a first down.
First 2 seasons, back-to-back 8-win seasons. First time since early 80s.
Yeah, he's really turned this program around since he's been here, and I know they've had some tough losses this year, but chance right here.
3rd and 1. Jackson calls his own number, leaps into the end zone, touchdown, Texas State.
What a great play call. Or you'll see the center, Brock Riker, comes and kicks out. That was Amar Thomas. Just enough room on the inside for Brad Jackson to hit it. Boom, right there, the kick out. Didn't see it coming. Critical touchdown.
Best drive of the night for Texas State. They go 75 yards in 3 minutes. Took 10 plays to do it. They're right back in this thing.
And again, it's Texas State, kind of the role reversal. You can't knock them out. They keep coming back. Just when James Madison, okay, we're putting this thing away, going up 3 scores. Here comes Texas State right before the half. And it's really been the running ability, the rush of Brad Jackson. I think he's just changed the whole dynamic of this game. It just feels like JMU's defense is kind of on its heels a little bit. Do we come up and we tackle the run? Do we stay back for the pass? Texas State 223 offensive yards on the night. That's what they do. They put up yards every day of the week.
45 points in this first half. A Sun Belt shootout on a Tuesday night to kick off Week 10 of the college football season.
Man, if Texas State could get a stop here and go into halftime, I feel really good about things.
So tomorrow night, star-studded NBA doubleheader. The Celtics taking on
and competing hard against the best team in the Sun Belt right now.
You've got to give the Bobcats a ton of credit, a team that has lost 3 games in heartbreaking fashion in conference play. Here at home, battling, fighting, trying to pick up where they left off. JMU's got other ideas. Busted coverage, Nick DeJaneiro, touchdown! 76-yard strike.
And just as Texas State, we're talking about, they're coming out of the half with a lot of confidence. But it all starts with the protection. Great job in protection by Barnett. But then DeJaneiro just splits 2 defenders going right down the middle of the field and takes it all the way in. Wow. We talked about JMU needs to answer, right? Well, they did emphatically here in the second play of the half.
It was a low snap, but handled well by Blake Kendall. And James Madison goes up by 15. That is their third 50-yard or more play.
And you could tell Barnett, his eyes were dialed in on Nick DeJaneiro the entire time. They talked about this at half, got the matchup. He was on Jaden Rios, and that was all she wrote. Brandon Ellis with the celebration. And you could see those eyes of Alonzo Barnett. He was locked in on DeJaneiro the whole time, just waiting patiently for him to get open. They got the coverage they wanted, got the protection. Touchdown.
And how about DeJaneiro? That's his 3rd touchdown in the last 2 games after starting the season 6 games with no touchdowns. Incredible start to this second half. Less than a minute into it, at a 76-yard touchdown strike, and that brings all the momentum back to James Madison, a team looking to stay perfect in Sun Belt play, stay in the hunt for a potential college football playoff appearance.
It's just how many times can this offense, not just tonight, but throughout the season, keep answering, putting up points. Tough thing to do to go toe-to-toe.
Good return here by Anderson. Gets it past the 35-yard line, stepped out at the 36. To your point, Rocky, this Texas State offense has had to answer drives of 49 seconds, a minute 15 seconds, and now 47 seconds by JMU. These are quick strikes by the JMU offense where if you're Texas State, it's okay. I know you were just out there, but we need you to go do it again.
Get back out there in the I've played defense my whole life, and it's those quick scores that just painful, just body blows on a defense. And then, yeah, you got to get the offense back out there. They're looking at the defense like, guys, come on.
Jackson, they've trusted him all night. Puts it on the money again. Floated it up there for Bo Sparks, who comes down, gripping his left leg. Did well to hang onto that football with a gain of 31, but clearly grimacing in pain as Texas State's medical team comes out to take a look at him.
Goes up and climbs the ladder and just looks like as he came down got twisted up a little bit. We'll find out more when we come back.
This is a football player right here. Bo Sparks makes a great catch on a gain of 31. He goes down, boom, right to the table, getting the ankle tape.
Off comes a sock, more ankle tape, and yeah, look. You can tell exactly what happened. Looked like it was certainly on his left leg, which it was. He gets twisted up with Jacob Thomas, the great JMU safety. But yeah, look at that. Back on the sideline, putting the shoe back on, and looks like he's going to be able to get back out there. It's interesting, Chris Dawn, their other great wide receiver, was not in on that last play. We'll see if he comes out on the field here with Sparks going to be out at least one play.
You told me watching tape this week, those two guys, more than any team you've seen in all of college football, that's read number 1, read number 2, or vice versa.
Yeah, every progression, every pass route, 1 and 11 are 1 and 2 in the read. No matter how way they got to spin it, those are the first two options in that progression for the quarterback.
And right now, neither are on the field for the redshirt freshman quarterback, Brad Jackson, trailing by 15 after JMU gets that monster 76-yard touchdown to begin this second half. Jackson has answered with a big throw to Sparks. Can they finish this drive? Jackson in trouble, just goes down. Nobody open at JMU, suffocating Emmanuel Bush, the big defensive tackle, for a loss of 8.
Man, he had Titus Lyons, the tight end, wide open. You'll see him maybe on the left part of your screen. Look, he releases late, wide open, but because of the rush, he had to take his eyes off the middle of the field.
Only missed one play.
Yeah, look at my guy, Bo Sparks, out there, taped up. Let's go.
We need like a Rocky Boyman football guy of the week.
He's it for sure.
2nd and 18. Jackson in trouble again. Tipped ball. It's intercepted. Justin Eaglin still loose. Eaglin takes it all the way back to the 25. That is his 3rd interception in the last 2 games.
And it's the defensive line, Jay, that causes this tip. I mean, watch the interior defensive line. And there he is. Taddeo drops back and pops that ball up into the air for Eaglin. I mean, we've talked about it, Jay, but JMU, certainly in the Sun Belt, I don't know if there's another defense in this conference that plays as well as a unit the way JMU does. I mean, the defensive line's making plays, helping out the secondary. The secondary will bail the defensive line out when they need it. Total team effort.
And Eaglin on a great return of 42 yards now puts the Dukes right back in striking distance. Pitch to Knight. Takes it into the red zone on a gain of 8. I'll tell you what, you simply cannot make a mistake against this JMU team because they just find ways to make you pay.
They do. They play with so much confidence. You know, when bad things happen, right? We saw that game against ODU last week. Gave up a bunch of big plays. Never looked like it really affected them. And the same thing is happening here tonight. That is the mark of a great team.
And it's starting to spiral on Texas State. Good stop there, only gained a yard. Third and short here.
It looks like Knight and DeGennaro coming out of the game. Bring some bigger bodies in for this 3rd and less than 1.
Now this is where running behind number 89, Josh Pfeiffer, has been so effective. He's on the right side of the line. They go right up the middle with Fuller. Only needed a yard. He dove for it.
They're saying they got the ball out.
Texas State saying they've got the football, waiting for a signal. The officials say 4th down. So they don't say fumble, but they also don't give Fuller the yard.
They're trying to get on the line and run a play here. And G.J. Kinney's calling for a timeout. Wants to get another look at this.
Well, Texas State's defensive line was emphatic that they
had the
football.
And Kenny was jumping up and down, trying to call a timeout, see if we can get another look at this.
Fuller bangs in to fight for the tight end.
No, he's down. He's down.
He goes down.
Yeah. I think for Kenny it was worth a shot, but he was certainly down before that ball came out. But nevertheless, I mean, still a 4th and 1.
You go for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But for Texas State, I mean, easily the most critical play of the entire game here. You can stuff them on 4th down. You regain some momentum. If you don't, it's just, you know, JMU starting with a fresh set of downs and just rolling.
Well, James Madison only 4 of 11 on 4th down this season. If you do go for the field goal, you put yourself up by 18, make it a 3-score game.
And if you're Texas State, what was kind of really haunted you this whole season is critical moments of games. Defense just hasn't been able to come up with that stop, or someone hasn't been able to come up with that play that you need.
Offense on the field for a 4th and 1. Fuller stays in the game in the backfield. Don't be surprised if the quarterback Barnett calls his own number here, and he gets Texas State to jump. The ultra-aggressive Khalil Alexander.
Defense, number 2, 5-yard penalty, results in a 1st down.
Killer. And you can see they're
offside with contact.
They're gearing up. They want to come downhill and stuff this run. They know it's going to be Fuller into the B gap. And just, it's kind of the story of Texas State's season defensively. Just critical moment, can't come up big.
JMU with an opportunity to pour it on. 1st down after the penalty. Fuller. He just refuses to go down. We saw it result in a touchdown earlier, but it takes multiple bodies getting to the ball to put him on his back. Came over with his head coach, Bob Chesney, from home.
You see Matthew Sluka come in at quarterback here. No more. This is Lonzo Barnett's offense.
Sluka, another former Crusader. Barnett dragged down there.
Comes.
It's happened tonight. The Knights at the bottom of your screen in motion. Barnett looking that way. Now rolls right, wide open. Wow. Easy touchdown, Logan Kyle. And it is all JMU in this 2nd half.
And a great job by Alonzo Barnett. This ball was designed to go to Wayne Knight.
28-20 at the break. We're not even midway through this 3rd quarter. The JMU looking for some serious separation. That was a direct snap to Wayne Knight. Couldn't find a free running lane though.
Great job by Jordan Sanders, the defensive tackle. That was a tricky play. Fought off a couple blockers and made a nice tackle.
Right back tonight, this time barreling forward, has the 1st down. So a 1st and goal upcoming for JMU.
Comes Jordan Fuller back into the game. Wayne Knight will go out. If they get their bigger running back, Fuller, he goes 230. into the game here inside the 5.
You probably keep this on the ground, but you have Landon Ellis in one-on-one coverage, bottom of your screen. Barnett barrels in for another JMU touchdown. The Dukes have scored 2 touchdowns in this second half off Texas State interceptions.
Bringing bigger bodies, an extra tight end, the big running back, Jordan Fuller, leading the way, and Lonzo Barnett putting on a show.
He's well on his way to back-to-back Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week honors. In this second half, they have found a new gear. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, 2 of those coming off Jackson interceptions. This has been a remarkable third quarter on both sides of the ball for the clear top team in the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, Staten just running the ball here on this drive. Lonzo Barnett, good job, just kind of patiently.
Well, JMU, a second half team to say the least, and here they are with the ball at the start of the fourth quarter on the road on a Tuesday night, where they have outscored Texas State 21-0 since halftime, and they're looking for more. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. And that's what the JMU offense has done. The JMU defense in second halves this season, they have now 8 straight quarters without allowing a single point. The last point scored in a second half was in the third quarter against Georgia Southern, all the way back on September 27th. Been more than a month without letting up a second half point. Barnett slings it over the middle. It's caught. That's Jaylon Sanchez, his first grab of the night. Well short of the sticks, and the Dukes will settle for a field goal attempt, try and increase their lead to 32. A 31-yard field goal attempt for Morgan Suarez, the lefty. He is just 3 of 6 on the season. They haven't needed many field goal attempts this year. They're good at finishing drives for touchdowns, and Suarez connects. So a good night to be a James Madison fan on the road. There's Carol Benassi, and she is our random fandom of the night. We actually met Carol at the Old Dominion game, and she's a Texas native. Her love for JMU goes back to 1982 as a student. That's her on the far right.
Yeah, there she is.
She's had to love her Dukes for a long time from afar, living in Texas for more than 35 years, where she was the chair of the Dallas alumni chapter. When JMU started making regular trips to Frisco for the FCS National Championship, her JMU fandom took on a life of its own. She took over the JMU Nation fan page, nearly 34,000 members, which led to opening 5 Purple Nation stores selling JMU gear nationwide, all while still living in Texas. She goes to every home game, all the way in Virginia, most road games too. This one an easy one for her in her home state of Texas.
I mean, that's how you build a fan base, right? Just set up posts all over the country. Very proud program at JMU. Keeps growing.
Now we've been doing Random Fandom for almost 2 years now. This is the first road fan we have done. And Carol got quite the tailgate going, more than 100 James Madison fans in the Texas area. And they were partying it up in Lot 5, which was, about halfway to San Antonio.
They were out there a little bit, a little ways.
But a good crowd. I think winning football games, right, leads any fan base to get to that fever pitch.
That's the key, right? Is you win a lot of football games. That's what brings fans back over and over and over. And
look, Carol's always loved JMU, going back to the early 80s, but getting this team to win national championships in Frisco, and her helping set up the tailgates. This was the pregame scene we were talking about. And you would think this was a home game, but they're doing it on the road. And I'll say if the fans left in the stadium, there's still tons of purple. I want to know how Carol got down to the field.
She's been down on the field most of the game. We've had eyes on her pretty much the whole time. Hey, when you put a collection of fans together like that, you get some special privileges.
The one thing she told us, and this is a missed opportunity by you and me, is that she's good friends with Charles Haley, who played for James Madison in the early 80s. They overlapped for 1 year. And he went on and had a incredible career, maybe one of the best careers in all of pro football. 5 Super Bowls with the 49ers and Cowboys.
I mean, before Tom Brady went off and won, what was it, 7?
7, yep.
Yeah, he was the guy you grew up with. I grew up as a kid. Wow, he went to 5 Super Bowls, won 5 Super Bowls.
Well, that career started at JMU, and he was here hanging out with Carol and a bunch of JMU alumni, but we were hoping they were going to swing him through the booth, but he never made it our way.
What a dominant player. An interesting cat, too, if you've seen any of the documentaries on him, but proud JMU alum.
Fourth-round pick. That's pretty good value, right?
Yeah. He's on 2 Ring of Honors, right? 49ers and Cowboys.
He's in the Niners and Cowboys Hall of Fame. Texas State converts on a 3rd and 7.
I mean, that almost says more than the 5 Super Bowls, to be in the Ring of Honor in 2 great franchises.
It's tough to do.
I mean, is there another person with that honor?
You're very much putting me on the spot. I'm going to say I'm sure there is.
We're on it.
And Texas State still battling here, down by 32. Redshirt freshman quarterback Brad Jackson. He's got a bright future in front of him. He's 4 games that have likely all resulted in losses in Sun Belt play is not going to define that young man's career. I think the problem for Texas State is, G.J. Kinney comes in, first 2 seasons, 2 8-win seasons. Then you announce you're joining the Pac-12, you're preseason picked up there to potentially win the conference, so this is viewed as underachieving. But
yeah, and let me.
Jackson in trouble again, suffocated.
To that point, the folks that are like, oh, we got to get rid of Kinney. You got to remember where this program was for most of its history, literally until the last couple of years. Not in a great place. G.J. Kinney has come in here and done absolute wonders here at Texas State. It's just one of those years for him. I think he is one heck of a football coach. It's been a tough year.
You thought this could be the one, right? At home on a Tuesday night. You got the top team in the conference in your place. And again, first half, you're right there. 1 possession game, and wheels kind of come off here in the second half, getting outscored 24-0. Pushing and shoving on the special teams, but no flags come out. JMU ball up 32 when we come back. James Madison up big, 52-20 on the road. Getting week 10 started in the college football season. This season has flown by. How are we already at week 10? As J.C. Evans comes into the game at quarterback for the Dukes, leading by 32. College football headlines, Rocky. When we were in Baton Rouge for week 2 of the season, LSU's fresh off that win at Clemson. And how by week 9 is Brian Kelly out of a job?
Absolutely amazing. You looked out on that field and you saw the players they had and the belief that Brian Kelly seemed to have, seemingly more so than any other year, just in talking with him, and total turn of events down in LSU.
They decide to clean house, and in a very competitive year to look for a college football coach too. We've seen so much turnover already. I'm sure there's going to be more to come. And I'll tell you one man whose phone is certainly going to ring in the next month, and that's James Madison head coach Bob Chesney. With all the openings and all the success that he has had, not just at James Madison, but just throughout his career. 16th year as a college head coach, going from Division III at Salve Regina to Assumption College, Division II, Holy Cross, FCS. He has won at every level, much like his predecessor, Curt Cignetti. He's blown up in the backfield there. James Madison's gone to the backup quarterback, J.C. Evans, who let Collins shoot in there for a loss of 6. There's Chesney.
And like any good football coach, no matter what the score of the game is, he's out there coaching ball, always wanting his guys to perform better. We talked earlier about his success, and I think it almost says more that you've been able to have success at every stop you've had. It's not like you've came in on a program and happened to catch a good class and you ride that out. Everywhere he's been, he's rebuilt and performed.
Well, we showed you the college football headlines. The #1 headline was Brian Kelly losing his job. #2 was Chesney's predecessor, Curt Cignetti, getting Indiana up to #2. And I think Cignetti's going to reinvent the model here. It used to be, let's get the hot coordinator. And now it's, let's get a guy that has won everywhere he's been as a head coach.
I think that's an excellent point. Yeah, and look less at who's the guy that can put up 500 yards of offense every single week. No, who's the guy that's shown he can win everywhere, shown he can build programs from the ground up if he has to. I think Bob Chesney has done that.
Evans goes to the air, hit as he released it. This is the second throw J.C. Evans has attempted this season. Usually it's Matthew Sluka who comes in for Alonzo Barnett in relief. Evans, the third-string quarterback. Maybe just getting some reps for Evans here in the fourth quarter in a 32-point game. There's Sluka. Fair catch called for, and did a nice job to hold on, DJ Taylor. James Madison has this one well in hand, 6:33 to go. Has put more than 300 total yards on them. And that's just part of the way Texas State plays. Hitchler knew it was going to be tough to keep that streak intact. They've held them to 352, but in the second half, they've completely shut them down. This would be 9 straight quarters with a shutout in the second half.
And there's Hitchler. And to your point, this is an offense that scored, or excuse me, put up 500 yards of offense the last 3 games and holding them at this point under 340. Pretty good.
What's amazing about the Hitchler-Chesney relationship is it goes back to 2010 at Division III football at Salve, Virginia. It was Hitchler's first college job, and they reunite 15 years later to put together. We got 5 to put a shirt on all season.
It's November here in a couple days. It's wild.
Hold on a second.
There's some diehards.
Somebody's mothers are screaming at the television to put a shirt on. Down 32 on a Tuesday night.
Going. Yeah.
That is college football.
It started with that guy right there, and he's
now we got 5
more
of them.
coming. There's 5.
No.
Ah, now he's going too.
All right, you know
now
what?
we're talking.
I'm doing
Let's
it,
go.
Rocky. No.
Please, please.
Lowering the boom, up 32 on the road. That is the type of night it has been for JMU. This craziness continues. That was Trayshawn Dye. He is listed as a linebacker. Running the football.
Getting a carry, man.
On the road, up 32. The headline coming out of this game is James Madison is for real, and they are going to make a college football playoff push. They have left no doubt the last 2 weeks. 63-27 against Old Dominion, now 52-20 on the road against Texas State. And if you allow me to dream for one moment as we get ready to put a bow on this one, how great would a 5-12 seed Indiana James Madison?
Oh my gosh.
With Kurt
Very
Cignetti
cool.
playing his former program. There's Bob Chesney, who told us, I don't want to talk college football playoff. There's too much football left, a lot of football left. But guess what,
Sorry,
Coach? If you keep winning,
sorry,
we're going to keep saying it. And they left no doubt tonight. A second half shutout for the 4th straight game. 24 unanswered to win this one 52-20.
And it wasn't like they dominated from the start. Remember, this was a 28-20 game at halftime. It was a dogfight, and JMU just came out after the half and just poured it on.
He's Rocky Boyman. I'm Jay Alter. Let's get you the Sports Center. It was hockey night on ESPN. We'll get plenty of hockey highlights, I'm sure. So long from San Marcos.
So Gatorade was invented in 1965, but it took decades for one of my favorite traditions to catch on.
What's that, Eli?
The Gatorade bath.
It's Ohio State, champions of college football.
Yeah, that's sticky sweet. Bang! That wasn't just Gatorade, that was some plastic.
Now, Coach, you've had a few Gatorade baths in your time.
The Florida Gators have won the SEC championship. Coach Steve Spurrier, you better believe he's happy about this one.
How about one more?
Eli, I think it's time you got your first one.
I don't know about that. Thanks, Javon.
How's it feel?
It's so cold. And I didn't win a game, so I think I deserved it.
I'm Eli Manning, and I love college football.
Manning, touchdown!
So I'm going back to school to show you why college football is king.
We're going to set a world record today.
Some of the world's greatest creations, like the MRI machine, the Frisbee, seat belts, 3D glasses, and the internet, were created on college campuses. Of course, the world's most important invention, American football, was born at Rutgers University in 1869. Although, in season 1 of Eli's Places, John Stewart and I found the early version of the game looked a little bit more like soccer and fancy pirate clothes.
Oh, you heard that, man? Yes! So I'm driving to work today. Eli Manning kicks a ball at my Jeep.
I wanted to learn the origin story behind two of college football's most famous campus creations. So I headed to the University of Florida, where my favorite thirst quencher and Gator legend Javon Kearse both became household names.
Who's got him? The freak, Javon Kearse.
The Freak was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and First Team All-American in 1998.
And Javon Kearse with the interception.
This is the birthplace of America's greatest invention.
Thomas Edison's light bulb.
No, you don't need lights to play football.
The Wright brothers airplane.
No, we would have figured that out eventually by watching birds.
The internet?
No, I'm talking about